Hey folks, this is Mr. Modern Survival coming to you again for your wonderful viewing experience. Hope you've had a wonderful New Year's. It's January the 2nd, and the Lord certainly has been good to me and my family. We had a good Christmas, had a good New Year's weekend, and off work today and working on some things. And actually, what I had in mind to do in the next couple videos is I've been a little bit secretive as to uh, what exactly my bug out bag contains. And of course, most of you who watch this video know what a B.O.B is, and you know what a bug out bag is. And mostly you've watched a lot of different videos and seen a lot of different items that can be stored or stowed in a bug out bag for a WROL situation or an SHTF, or an EMP, basically just a get home bag. You know that it's got to sustain you for 36 to 72 hours. It's got to have your basic first aid, your basic defense, your basic fire starting tools, extra set of clothing, those kinds of things. But I want to get into more of the specifics of some really neat tips and tricks and secrets that I use in my bug out bag. And the one I do want to show you right now, the one I want to show you today, is I don't think I've seen anybody else on YouTube with a video having done this. Now, that's not to say that I might get 2 or 3 comments or video responses with guys that say, "Yeah, I've already been there and done that." And if that's the case, that's fine. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. But I've not seen this yet, and this is what I do as far as my backup B.O.B gun. My bug out bag backup weapon. And it has to, as far as that weapon has to meet certain criteria. It has to be cheap. Let me get a sip of my coffee here. What would a world be without a good cup of Joe? All right, where were we? Anyway, it has to be cheap. You're not going to want to buy a $400 or $500 or bigger weapon and put it in your bug out bag. It's not going to be something. It's not going to be something like this Glock 27. It's not going to be something like this beautiful 1911. It is going to be something like this High Point. Something that's cheap. Something that's not. Something basically you're not going to be taking to the range and firing. Basically, it needs to be a weapon that you're not going to miss because it's going to be packed away in your bug out bag. Also, your bug out bag is going to be in your vehicle. Mine stays in my pickup truck 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, unless I'm working on it. And I got it out today and was doing some tweaking and adding and taking away some things. I was going to get into something else, but never mind. We'll get into that a little bit later. That being said, you do not want a very expensive firearm in a bag that's in your car all the time. I work in downtown Asheville in Buncombe County, western North Carolina, and we've got 3 ghettos on either side. We've got a ghetto on all 3 sides of the building that I work in. I work in an office, and we've got projects surrounding us, and so we have to constantly keep an eye on the parking lot. There's no telling who might show up and want to break into a car. We've actually had some cars broken into. So it has to meet that cheap criteria. It has to be a functioning firearm that's cheap enough that if it does get stolen, it's really not a huge deal. I'm one of these guys. I don't have all this money to throw away, and so I appreciate the cheap firearms. And if it's functional, that's fine. It's okay to be cheap. It has to be something small, something compact, something not really heavy, that's not really going to weigh down your bag a whole lot. And let me tell you, when you go buy you an Alice pack or something like that, which is what my bug out bag is an Alice pack. Go buy you an Alice pack, and you grab that thing, you pick it up, and you're like, wow, man, this is light. This is great. This is awesome. Well, when you get all that crap in there, that sucker's heavy. And so you don't want any more extra weight than you absolutely have to have. And so here's my idea. You see my little bandoliers here. And what this is my emergency backup bug out gun. Flip this bad boy over. You see that right there. And hold this up to where you can get a real good look at it right there. What that is, this is the dirt cheap revolver. I mean, this is about as cheap and cheesy as a revolver gets. This is an old Standard Arms standard arms, made in Miami, Florida, 38 special. Snub nose, got an 1.5-inch barrel. It's double action, single action. This is as cheap as it possibly gets. I mean, it really doesn't get any cheaper than that. I think I gave $100 for this pistol, if that tells you anything. That's how cheap this sucker is. Now look what I've done. The straps on the ammo bandolier here, I've got the pistol zip tied here through the trigger guard. I do have 6 hollow points in this weapon. It's loaded, it's hot, it's ready to go. But I have a zippy tie around the hammer, so this weapon is absolutely non-functional right now. And and you say, well, Mr. Modern Survival, why did you strap it to that bandolier? Well, I'm glad you asked, YouTuber, because when you flip this thing around and open it up, I've got 25 rounds of hollow point in this side, and I've got 25 rounds of full metal jacket, just brass Winchester white box, I think it is, or it actually may be some of my hand loads. I think actually it is some hand loads mixed in there. I've got 50 rounds here. I've got 6 rounds ready to go, and basically it's set up to where it's in my bug out bag, but it's non-functional. It's not going to accidentally go off, and even more important than that, when one of my kids are riding in the truck with me, I don't have to worry about them getting it out and hurting themselves or hurting somebody else. It's non-functional. You have to have a knife, and you have to intend to make this weapon functional, and that can happen in just a matter of a few seconds. Now remember, this is not my primary. My primary is being carried on my body. It's either going to be a Glock 22 or it's going to be a Glock 27, or at times both are going to be there. Sometimes I carry the 27 as a backup and the 22 as a primary. I work in a very firearm-friendly office. Let me just say that. So this is, I think this is a good idea. Let me know what you think about it. Leave me some comments. I've not seen anybody do this yet. And actually, what I'm going to do with this is I'm gonna put it in a vacuum seal bag. I'm gonna vacuum seal it, put an oxygen absorber in there, oil it up really nice, and throw it in there so it doesn't rust. I'm gonna put it in that bag, and I'm gonna absolutely forget that it exists. So there you go. It's super lightweight, super cheap. More coffee. Oh yeah, it's good. And I think it's a great idea for a bug out backup firearm. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. As always, stay safe, keep prepping, and God bless.